and welcome to A Window to Bourne. I'm your host, Mavis Robinson, and joining me today is local artist Lance Shinkel. Lance, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
So Lance, I'm really excited to talk to you and learn more about you. And to sort of get things started, let's just talk about where are you from? Are you from the Cape? Where did you come from?
I'm originally from Southern California, but I've been here forever. I've been here for 35 years or so.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
What drew you to the East Coast? The West Coast is so lovely.
Well, it's kind of I just do a lot of ice skating.
Okay.
And I was in an ice skating show, and in between seasons, I decided to start teaching ice skating. So I just opened up a map and went, Cape Cod.
Really?
And that's really how and so I called the local ice rink here.
Yeah.
And they hired me. They flew me out.
Okay.
And
now, what's the local ice rink? Not Gallo and Bourne.
no, the one in Falmouth.
Okay.
I live in Falmouth.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So you're a professional ice skater?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really neat. So then you moved out here and got yourself established?
Yeah, I moved out here and I went into the sign business.
Okay.
And that's how I got started carving.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I did a lot of carved signs.
Yeah.
And just kind of kept going.
Yeah. And so let's just kind of talk about your tie now to the Bourne Historical Society. You are going to be the artist in residence this season over at Aptucxet, which is very exciting.
I'm very excited.
The first time that we've done this, and so to let people know what that means, let's sort of talk about the type of art that you do. So you said you got into carving. Is carving your main medium, wood carving?
Well, I do a lot of painting and carving, and usually I carve in the summertime and paint in the wintertime.
Okay.
But as the horses are getting heavier for me,
Yeah.
I'm starting to do more painting.
Yeah.
So, but I still have lots of horses left.
Okay, so you're talking about horses. Let's talk about horses. This is the get it right from the horse's mouth. We have a horse right in the middle here, and we've been kind of like teasing the exhibit that's your art. We've been telling the public about it, but we haven't fully talked about it. But it really is an incredible exhibit, and it has to do with horses, and it's in the Windmill at Aptucxet this year. Tell us what it is.
Well, on this particular horse, this was one of the first ones, and the horses on the carousel are much bigger than this.
Yeah.
This is just a small little horse.
But let's talk about the carousel. So the carousel, I mean, people were really kind of hearing about it for the first time. You built a carousel.
Yeah.
And this is not the first one you've built.
No, the first one I built was, it's in Falmouth.
Okay.
And it's a big one. It's a 36-foot diameter carousel.
Yeah.
And this is a smaller carousel, but actually the horses are bigger. The horses are about 6 feet long.
Okay, yeah.
I bought the mechanism from a carousel company, and actually it was originally made for the stage play Carousel.
Oh, wow.
And it was a hand crank.
Okay.
So then I switched it over to pedal power.
Yeah.
And
which is amazing because you've got this carousel, these gorgeous horses. There's 6 horses.
6 horses.
And then in the middle of it, there's like a little bicycle.
a little bicycle.
Yeah. So I mean, so how does it run? I mean, how do you?
Well, at first it was like a tricycle,
Mm-hmm.
where you had to keep pumping and go fast or get out of the way.
Yeah.
But I had an engineer figure out how to make it glide like a regular bicycle. It's called a one-way clutch.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can pump it, and then you can just let it glide, and it'll keep going around.
Mm-hmm.
And the gear ratio is like 20-to-1, so anyone can pedal it. It's not hard to pedal.
Yeah. I've actually done it myself, and
That's
it's
right.
surprisingly easy. Yeah. It takes a little bit of effort to get it going, but once it's going.
Yeah. So the carousel does not have any electricity, doesn't have any motor.
Mm-hmm.
It just pedal power.
Yeah. And those 6 horses, I mean, they are individually each an incredible piece of art. They're very different. You've got stallions, you've got, they're all in different positions, all different colors, all different bridles. How long does it take to carve one of those 6-foot horses?
Well, it takes about 2 months from wood on the ground to a finished painted horse.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, when I started, I didn't really know how to make a carousel horse. The way they make them is they usually make a box, like a coffin, and then they add the legs and the head. But I didn't have the equipment to do that, so I came up with my own system. And what I do is I just take planks of wood, stack them all up, and then I draw out a horse, and then I take a chainsaw and rough it out with the chainsaw.
Yeah.
And then I take all the plates apart, cut out the middle so all the horses are hollow so it wouldn't be too heavy.
Okay, yeah.
And then I put them back together and glued them back together and painted them, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And after I done the first one, I got all these plates, so now I have a pattern.
Okay.
And I can just, instead of starting from the very beginning, I can just cut out this pattern, all these different plates.
Right, right.
And one day I was cutting these patterns out, and when I started to put them back together, I made a mistake and I had them upside down. And what that did was it made the horse go this way instead of that way.
Yeah.
And so then I realized just by changing these plates around, I can make the animals do different things.
Oh, interesting.
So it's just kind of an accident.
Yeah.
And as it turns out, the horses are stronger because instead of having a box here and then the legs go down, right here where it joins the box, it cracks.
Okay.
But with the system I came up with, I have the plates going in the same flow as the direction of the animal.
Yeah.
So actually, it turns out to be stronger that way. I just got lucky.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we're a little distracted because my co-host Captain off camera is rolling around on his back excitedly, and I think the reason for that is that he has actually ridden on this carousel. It was amazing to see him on it, and he really gets excited when he sees it. I think he was fascinated with the horses, thinking, are they real? But this is a work of art that's not just something to look at, but people are going to be able to ride on this thing too.
Oh, absolutely. And what's nice about the pedal carousel is that you can go at any speed. And if you have a very small person, the parent can walk along with the carousel, holding the little child on.
Yeah.
And so anyway, one day we put Captain on a horse, and at first he was a little bit, what's going on?
Right.
But then he kind of looked around. He likes it.
Yep.
And it was kind of fun.
Yeah. He gets very excited to run in there now. It's an exciting new thing.
So dogs ride free.
Dogs ride for free. Perfect.
Dog
I
rides
love
for
that.
free.
I love that.
And there's a few of the horses that have a tractor seat. So it's real comfortable, and it's lots of room and stuff. And so
we had somebody on their side saddle yesterday because she had a skirt on. So there was there were some different options.
Yeah.
Yep. And the tractor style seat, that was the one that Captain sat right on.
Yes. He's looking around. And the kids love to see dogs, on the carousel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is so fun, and we're really, really excited to have the carousel there this year. It's going to be there. When does it open?
In Memorial Day.
Okay.
We're going to start then,
Yep.
and it'll run the same hours as the gift store.
Okay.
Which is, I believe, is 10 to 4.
10 to 4, yep. Tuesday through Saturday.
Tuesday through Saturday.
Yeah, we were just talking about you, bud.
Yeah. And on Sunday, is it 12 to 3?
Yes, 12 to 3 on Sunday.
12 to 3.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's when we're open.
And I know that we are planning on giving a free ride with admission to the museum, but then also additional rides will be available for a donation, a small donation. So
Yes.
so people could, if they don't have time to see the whole tour, they could come in and just give us a quick donation if they only wanted a quick ride on the carousel.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, how did you get into carousels of all things? I mean, it seems a very specific interest.
Like I said, I was in the sign business, and I did a lot of carved signs. And at that time, I've always been interested in three-dimensional carving. And my brother-in-law had cancer, and I wanted to create something that could raise money for cancer research. So I've always liked carousel, so I thought, well, I'll make a carousel. This is the big one in Falmouth.
Yeah, the Carousel of Light is
Carousel
what they
of
call
Light.
Yep.
And this one is called the Windmill Carousel. And So the monies raised would go towards research and things like that. And so that's how I got started.
Okay.
And
so, you know, it's your carving, but also you talked about you like to carve in the summertime, paint in the wintertime. Also in the windmill and part of the carousel are your paintings. What are you a self-taught painter? Did you take classes? How did you learn how to paint?
I'm like most artists. You do everything.
Yeah.
You do a little bit of sculpting, you do a little bit of painting, and they all kind of help each other. Because I'm finding that learning how to sculpt really helps your painting, because painting is kind of more related to sculpting than, because you're kind of making the lines fit the form.
Okay.
And I've always been drawn to the color and things like that. So I'm kind of doing more and more painting.
Okay.
And I'll be painting outdoors. It's called a plein air painter, where you try to catch the light on objects. And so it's almost like a sport, because the light's moving.
Yeah, so you have to get it.
You got to get it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't give you time to just fiddle around. You got to really go for it.
Okay.
And the closer you get to sunset or sunrise, that's where it moves the quickest.
Yeah.
But that's the best times, because you have longer shadows.
Yeah, yeah. And the sunsets are beautiful over at Aptucxet. I mean, it's
Yeah.
really, it lights the whole sky up behind the trading
Yeah, so I'm
post.
sure I'm going to be doing a lot of paintings of the windmill and the little train station. And
Yep.
I mean, there's so much material there. That there's the boats on the canal. There's the train that goes right by there. It's a beautiful. I'm so excited to be there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah. Well, we're thrilled to have you. And when we talk about an artist in residence, the in residence part is so key, because you're going to be there. I mean, you'll be there, you know, helping to operate the carousel. But we do want to get some volunteers so that you don't have to be the only person. But you will be there producing art and you know, to answer questions, and it's really sort of a wonderful thing for us. We're really pleased
Yeah, it
to
takes
have you
two
there.
people to operate the carousel. One's pedaling.
Yep.
And right on the center of the handlebars, I'm going to have a little mini computer. And it'll be like, so we'll have different selections of music, and they'll be able to hit that. And the person on the outside kind of monitors everything that's going on. And also, halfway through the ride, we have a little target that we're going to have. Instead of having the ring catch, we're going with a beanbag toss. So as the kids come around, the carousel is not like a thrill ride. It goes slow. It doesn't go ripping around there. You know, it's very safe. And so as the kids go by, we hand them a little beanbag, and they just kind of toss it into this little target area. And if they get in the basket, then they get a little prize. They have to go over to the gift store and receive their little prize.
Well, and I want to mention the target area is not just your simple, you know, bullseye. It's a specially designed target area. How did you come up with that sort of graphic behind there?
Well, the story of the windmill is there was an actor that his main role was Rip Van Winkle?
Yeah, Rip Van Winkle, yes, yes.
Rip Van Winkle. And we've got his picture there, and a picture of his house and where the windmill came from. He gave the windmill to the museum. And so anyway, the target is him sleeping, and there's a little girl in the tree trying to tickle his nose with a feather.
Yeah, yeah.
And
but did you create that specifically for this installation?
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's so great. It's lovely to have a little piece of the Joseph Jefferson story, and by having Rip Van Winkle there, it really ties the history in nicely.
Yeah.
So it's nice little detail, and there are all sorts of details there. I'm so excited for people to come and check out all your artwork. I mean, you've painted, you know, graphics on the carousel itself, but then, you know, lining the walls are your other framed paintings and
little plein air paintings.
Yeah. They're really incredible. Really incredible.
Thank you. So I think it's going to be a really fun summer. I'm really excited, and I'm sure that the people riding their bikes on the rail trail are going to be able to come right over there, and you have to be 21 to pedal, because we don't want. Our main thing is safety.
Yeah.
The whole thing
Yeah.
is safety, and
Well,
we go real slow, but it's
Yeah, and we are we are looking for volunteers to help us, although we do have a number of members that are interested in stepping up to be trained, because there is a training process to go through. But you mentioned the rail trail, and we are partnering with another nonprofit organization, the Friends of the Bourne Rail Trail. And this is a group that's trying to raise awareness to create a connection between the Shining Sea Bikeway and the Cape Cod Canal. And the idea they have is to use the existing rail trail to do that. But they are a bicycle advocacy group, and they're looking to promote bicycling in town in a safe way. And since they're riders, they're going to help us by providing some volunteer support and a little bit of support for running the windmill. So
it's a perfect marriage.
yes, it's a very nice partnership.
And I did a little. The small carousel used to be over at the Falmouth Historic Society for a summer, and they did a little research, and we found that it's the only pedal-powered carousel that has wooden horses.
Okay.
There is another pedal-powered carousel, but they're all bicycles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just everybody pumps.
Yeah.
But there's on this one, there's regular carousel horses, and then in the middle, a person is pedaling a bike. And so I think it's the only one in the world just like this. And probably one of the reasons is because the one-way clutch hasn't been around forever.
Okay.
And so they can glide.
Yes.
That's a big change.
Well, and just being able to push that much weight without, with a relatively small effort is surprising.
It's really surprising.
Yeah.
The engineer that I had was, unbelievable, really, because I could get the carousel up to speed and then stop pumping and just glide, and it'll keep going around another 22 times.
Oh, wow.
Until it comes to a dead stop.
Yeah.
And, it makes it, people think that you're really working hard, but actually, it's not that hard.
Right. That's the secret.
So it's nice.
Yeah. Well, so we've sort of have this horse here as a sample. This is obviously smaller than the horses on the carousel, but where did this little fellow come from?
Well, actually, that was I made 3 of these, and I used one of them for the sign for the big carousel in Falmouth.
Okay.
And then this one, I used to have it on like a rocking chair, and I gave that to my daughter for her little girl.
Yeah. Oh,
and,
nice.
But that got me started.
Yeah. He or she is beautiful. And is it the same technique for carving with the layers and?
Actually, this one's a little bit different. And this is solid. It's not hollow inside because the size is small.
You don't need it for the weight. Yep.
And so that was just kind of big pieces of wood put together, glued together. But I realized when I went to the bigger horses, you got to do something to make them hollow inside.
Yeah.
And
so painting, carving, you sort of a triple threat and more, because we also have a book that you've brought here called Jingle Bell and the Brass Ring. Tell us about this book.
Well, actually, this is how it all got started. We went and my wife and I went to visit a carousel, and my daughter rode the carousel, and she fell in love with this one horse, and she named the horse Jingle Bell. That's how the name came about. And so for Christmas, I illustrated a book and gave it to her about Jingle Bell, about her horse. And the story is about, we go visit the carousel, she comes home, and then that night she has a dream about carousels, and she's kind of looking out the window when she's falling asleep, and the clouds turn into carousel horses, and they kind of move along in the sky, then end up on a carousel.
And how old was your daughter when you wrote this book?
She was like 3 years old.
Oh, wow.
She was, just little.
Yeah.
And now she's got kids of her own, and and this, that, and the other. But that's how it got started. And then I said, well, I'm going to make a carousel. So I started carving, and that's how it all began.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing to have for a little girl to have a book written just for her.
Yeah.
Was this sold widely? I mean, were you able to? Did you actually publish it for
No.
sale or just for private use?
Just for private use.
Yeah.
So I've never published or anything like that. It was just kind of a,
Yeah.
The fun part was creating it, and then I'm not that much of a businessman.
Well, I have to say, you say you're not much of a businessman, but one nice thing that you have added to our effort are these incredible T-shirts. And I want to just show the T-shirts to our audience because these are talking about showing the Windmill Carousel, and you can kind of see right there with your artwork. And these T-shirts are going to be for sale. They're going to be for sale at the gift shop. Our volunteers will wear them as well. But these are just an effort to have people who come and enjoy the carousel to be able to take something away and have a souvenir, but also to help us raise money. I mean, this has been a labor of love for you to create this beautiful mechanism, this beautiful work of art, and you say artists are not creating with the dollar signs in mind, and so it's a way to sort of raise money to help us pay for this effort, but then also potentially future similar works of art.
Yeah.
So we will be accepting donations to support the carousel, and buying a T-shirt is a way to provide us with a donation, but then you get something in exchange. So
yeah.
I really do love these, and I'll show the gray one as well. There we go.
And then on the front has the Aptucxet.
And on front, it says Aptucxet and Bourne, the Windmill, the only pedal-powered wooden carousel in the world.
In the world.
Yes, yes. Very
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Where do you get your inspiration when you're, plein air painting? When what most inspires you as an artist?
Well, absolutely a light and different colors. For as far as the painting goes, and then for the structure, the carving. I've always been intrigued how I don't know how Michelangelo, these people did these huge statues with a chisel and a hammer and a chisel.
Yeah.
I do 80% of these horses with a chainsaw.
Right.
And then when the press comes out, I bring my hammer and chisel out. But
the secret's out now, right?
but to carve those huge sculptures with and they're unbelievable.
Right.
It is really something.
Well, if you have a Medici who's willing to give you a year's worth of salary for one, then it kind of right.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
I guess that what it comes down to.
Well, it'd be wonderful to find that the Bourne equivalent of the Medicis to sponsor this piece of art, and also sponsor future work from you. What's coming up in the future? What do you have? What are your plans for your next big project?
Well, I'm really into this small carousel, and I've got enough. I carved 50 horses. It's a little bit. Like my wife is saying, yeah, that's nice, but 50 horses. So I still have enough horses to do another small pedal carousel. I'm kind of into the pedal carousel now because it doesn't take up any space, and it can fit in gazebos and things like that.
Yep.
And so I've got enough. So the next project is to do us another small carousel.
And is the mechanism something that's widely available? I mean, you said you got it from a stage play.
I got it from a little carousel company.
Okay.
So we would have to, now that we have one, we can make another one from those measurements, and of course all the mechanism, the guts of it, the gears and stuff like that. It's a special combination of things that are put together. That we have the formula now.
Okay, so now that you have the model, you can repeat it.
And we can do another one.
Yeah.
And so that would be the next the next thing.
Yep, yep. Well, that's pretty exciting. I'll look forward to that. But really, I just have to say, we're kicking off our year with such a fun, positive note to have this new, incredible exhibit at the Windmill. And the fact that you're going to be there on a daily basis, creating more art, interacting with people, answering questions about the carousel, and then also giving people rides on that carousel is going to be, it's going to be a fun season over there.
Yeah, I'll be there every day. So if people have questions about the carving, or they're interested in, I'm going to be doing a lot of plein air painting. So if people wanted to join a a painting session or something like that, and they want to come and just do a paint out. We're going to have 2 people running the carousel at all times. It takes 2 people, and then but I'll be painting or carving right around the carousel, so you can come on down and if you want to learn how to do it, I'll just show you how to do it, and then you got to go home and practice. I started off. Actually, I went to the Barnstable County Fair, and I saw this guy chainsawing. I'm going, whoa, that is really cool.
Yeah.
So I went. This is a true story. Maybe I should be telling this, but I went to Sears and bought a electric chainsaw. Right. I came home and I carve out this horse, but I'm really going into this the horse, and I burn up the chainsaw. So I take it back to Sears and I say, I don't know what happened. They gave me another chainsaw, and I went back and I carved another horse.
Yeah.
Burn it up.
Yeah.
I take it back. I take it back to Sears. I got down to something like 6. I'm not. It became a thing with me.
Yeah.
I got to like 6 chainsaws. I took it back because I don't know. And they said, "Well, we don't have any more here." I said, "Well, can I get my money back?" And they gave me my money back.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
I mean, Sears is an unbelievable company.
Yeah. They've been known to take back the craftsman's tools. It's a lifetime guarantee. Yep.
So that's But I also tried with a gas chainsaw, but when I'm doing demonstrations and stuff, it scares people. Little kids are crying because it's too loud.
Yeah.
So the electric chainsaw, what's nice about it, you release the trigger and there's no more noise.
Yeah.
It's like a drill or something.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, that's cool. I like that story. Well, Lance, thank you so much for joining me today. And just to emphasize that we are opening this year on the Friday of Memorial Day weekend, which I believe is the 25th of May. And you are going to be at Aptucxet for the season. You'll be our artist in residence. I know we have you at least through Labor Day weekend, and that we have that beautiful, wonderful, and exciting carousel for the community to enjoy. So.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be
fun.
Come
on down.
So thanks for joining me today on the show. And also join us this year at Aptucxet if you want to check out the Windmill Carousel and have a word with our artist, Lance Shinkel. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you next time.